Hey, what's going on, Average Joes? I guess it's about time that I do this newbie tag. So I previously did a video on myself as a reader, my history of reading, and a little bit of a background as to my reading in general. Kind of just a freestyle video, so you can go check that out. I'll try and link it below. But now that just hit, as of recording this, I just hit 100 subscribers. I guess it was time for me to do the actual newbie tag, which seems to be what most people do around now. And I wanted to wait until 100 to start doing these things anyway, just to see if I was going to stick with it and pan out. So here we are doing the newbie tag. So number one, why did I start this channel? Really, just I read a lot of books. I watch a lot of YouTube or Booktube. I had some time on my hands. I was thinking about starting a channel for a while now, just for as something else to do, um, something to test my video and audio skills and get some video editing practice. All these things. But also, I mean, I read 70 books a year, so and I feel like I just don't talk about them enough to anybody. Liz and I will have some conversations of books about that we're reading, or we read a lot of the same things. But in large part, I just wanted to talk about what I was reading and my thoughts and feelings towards books and getting that out there. And I also felt like I had a lot of differing opinions, and and I read a lot of different things that not everybody else does. So I felt like it was different enough to start it so that I can start talking about books as well. What unique, fun things do I bring to BookTube? So I mentioned I felt like I had a different perspective before. I think I'm a very rational and logical person in general and reader. And I know that a lot of with reading and with booktubers and stuff, it can be very enthusiastic and emotional and things like that. I feel like I struggle in that area. That's just not me. But on the other side, that means I'm much more rational, logical, and that's how I look at things. But as far as unique things, 100% Kindle Unlimited. I've already done 3 or 4 videos on Kindle Unlimited. I mention it all the time, especially when I review a book. The All the books that I've reviewed so far have been on Kindle Unlimited. There's not a lot of videos out there. I did one about why you should do it and why it's good for readers and authors. And I plan on keeping to do Kindle Unlimited videos, especially because it keeps getting more and more great books, especially with all of the editions of self pub authors out there. And then more recently, for on the more fun side, Liz and I have started doing videos together, which was spurred by the Bard Bookcase tag. And now we're doing Booze and Books series where we combine booze and books. What am I most excited about BookTube? Or we're starting my channel, and that is connecting with new readers and new people and sharing our opinions. And then also furthering my insights with some books. There are definitely plenty of times where I'll read a book and it's just I read it and that's it. But then other people will point things out that I didn't realize or that I never thought of. And you see the other perspective, how people see things. And there's been times where I might think negatively of something, but then if it's explained, then I see what they're coming from and it kind of makes sense. So, uh, getting deeper views and insights into books for sure. Why do I love reading? Started off kind of as escapism, just to go off and be in a different world. I love the creative thinking in a lot of the fantasy and how these authors are able to shape these worlds and these plots and these characters. And then the critical thinking aspect of it in how plots can be so intricate and smart. And since I read a lot of mystery thrillers, how those twists and hooks and mysteries come about and discovering those and doing some critical thinking on my own. I think it helps to flex those critical thinking muscles and creative thinking juices and all of those things. So that's kind of why I really like it. I don't go searching for deeper meanings or anything like that. What is the series that got me into reading? This one's kind of hard. I wouldn't say a single series got me into reading. I've mentioned this in my reading origin story. I think it was I picked up the last 2 Harry Potter books, Half Blood Prince and Deathly Hollows, because I'd read all the movies and the new books were coming out, or the new movies were coming out. So I just decided to pick it up and read those. I did not start from the beginning. And then after that, I picked up A Song of Ice and Fire because the show had started as well. So I think those two, because I started them for specific reasons, if I had already watched the content And for Game of Thrones, it was the season one, and then I picked up and then read all the books after that, so I could visually, you know, connect everything. So I guess it would be those two series in general. Because after that, um, I guess the bar was pretty high, and then I decided, well, I wanted to see what else is out there, and maybe pick something else that's not a book or a visual medium yet. Questions I would ask my favorite booktubers. Um, Kind of comes down to time dedication toward making videos in general and how they would rank their hobbies and the time put in to dedicate to booktube and their other hobbies. I know myself, I have a lot of other hobbies, and booktube is probably fourth on the list maybe of making videos. I feel like reading, no matter what, has to be above making videos about books, because how are you going to make videos about books if you're not reading books? And then there's other things on top of that. So I'm curious about everybody else's hobbies, time management, like not how to do time management, but how things are ranked and what else they do in between. What's the hardest challenge to overcome with BookTube? And I would be time dedication and consistency. So because I have all those other hobbies, dedicating time and making sure I have time to record and edit and do all those, but also staying consistent to the publishing schedule that I want. I want to keep publishing on the same days consistently and putting out content and not have these lapses. Also, there's going to be times in my future that, we move every 2 years being a military family. So there's going to be, 6 week lulls where I don't even have a house, or 4 to 6 week lulls where, yeah, I don't have my office, my house, my setup. So I'm going to have to either pre record things ahead of time or figure things out. But definitely time dedication and consistency is going to be a challenge long term. But I think I have a grasp on it so far. When did I start reading? Also, I talked about this in my origin story. I didn't start reading until I was 22. And that means like actually enjoyment for fun, picking up and reading books cover to cover. Yeah, 22. That's when I read those Harry Potter and Song of Ice and Fire books, I believe. It was around there. Years are kind of hazy. Did not care about reading when I was younger. Did not even read the prescribed high school books. When I was in high school, I just cared about sports and graduating kind of thing and moving on to whatever else was next. So yeah, 22. And even then, like it was on again, off again reading. Only the last like 4 years have I been consistently reading books a lot. Where do I read? Comfy chair, living room, family room. Yeah, somewhere where I can put my feet up or in bed. So during the day, it's a comfy chair downstairs or wherever our living room is at the time. And then every night, an hour before bed, we read on our Kindles. And then audiobooks, it's sometimes doing some conditioning work like running or in the car, transit, things like that. I don't have a commute to work, but when I go to as of right now, I have a commute to the gym. So those times are when I'm listening to audiobooks, but actual reading, physical books, down in a comfy chair, Kindle books, in bed. What books do I like? Well, I read mystery, sci-fi, fantasy. Those are the main ones that I read. I do also do some nonfiction in the fitness and health space. And then I'm a very on the surface reader when it comes to books. I like the plots, the characters, the thrill ride. Um, I'm not one to need any kind of deeper meanings, philosophical debates, anything like that. When I read a book, I want to enjoy the book, and then when I put the book down, I want that, like that is my level of the book, and then once it's down, it's done. I can think about it and talk about it with people, but I don't need to like put the book down and then think like I need to write down all my thoughts and have debates and find clarity and anything like that. I enjoy the book for the book, and that's it. What do my book collections look like? This one is on some lists. This one is not on all lists, but it's very random, sporadic. Most of my books we own on digital. I like to have a lot of other books around, and I usually buy those cheap secondhand. The physical books, our series don't always match. Don't really care about that. I'm not a book collector. I never buy the same copy of a book twice, meaning I don't have a digital and a physical edition of it, or I don't have a physical and an audiobook edition of it. If I have it, own a book one way, that's the way I'm reading it. So I'm not a huge collector. I don't need to have all these different special editions, or I'm not really anal about matching sets or certain covers or anything like that. I'm a bargain book buyer, and I read a book, I enjoy the book, and that's that. The words are all the same in between the covers. So that's not exactly a fun answer. I know a lot of people have their collections, and it's almost two separate hobbies: book collection and book reading. I'm just a reader, not a collector. So that is that. So that's the newbie tag. It's done. There we go. I reached 100. Woohoo. And let me know what you think about any of my answers. If you have any follow up questions for me, maybe I'll have another intro, official intro or something. I'll debate them on having a Q&A type thing. We'll see. But let me know what you think, and we'll talk about it later.